Hi, this is Cristina.
And Carmen.
And this is A Spooky Tales, the podcast for all things spooky, haunted places, myths, legends, sometimes true crime in Latin America. Again, this month, all is spooky, and you may have noticed, but there's no costumes.
And we have a reason for that.
What was the reason?
Well, we decided we were going to do 4 costumes and then one day in just Halloween-ish, t-shirt, sweater, whatever.
We have sweaters that say "See you in hell," but you can't even see the letters.
Yeah. Well, if I scoot away, you could see mine. Sort of.
Yeah.
But we have everything for our costumes. But the reason that we couldn't wear the costumes we were planning is because I broke... so sad. I broke 2 of my nails, so I can't wash my hair because it hurts. And I need my hair to be curly for our next costumes.
We do need it to be curly. If you have any guesses on why it needs to be curly, we welcome those guesses. You'll see it next episode for sure. But
yeah, feel free to guess.
Yeah, feel free to guess. Let's start this episode then.
All right.
Yes, the topics that I have today. Well, some of my favorite stories, I went looking for them and I found 3 to share.
Okay.
Creepy duende stories.
I love a duende story.
They say that if you say duende, you're like calling them.
I'm not
either. Also, like, knock on wood, but nothing's ever happened with the many times that I say duende. So fingers crossed that remains true, because no thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have duende stories today. They're fun. But before we get to the stories I have to share, we have a listener story. And if you have a story for us to read, you can email spookytales@gmail.com. You can click contact us on our website. You can call the spooky hotline. You can DM us. You can submit it on Discord. So many ways to get it to us. And we love receiving them.
So much.
Yes. Are you ready to share this one?
So this is from Judy. Hey, Cristina and Carmen. I want to first start off by saying I'm a huge fan of the podcast, and we are a fan of you, Judy. A bit obsessed, but it's normal if you finally found people with the same interests, or so I like to tell myself. And you go ahead.
Yeah, you're right for that.
And you're so right. I have a few stories, but I'll tell one for now. Tell us all of them.
One at a time, so we have a bunch of stories to read.
Okay, this one is kind of short, but it was very memorable. I just graduated from high school and moved to Maryland to live with my grandparents and my sister while I went to college. One afternoon, I had a headache, so I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I walked into the family room. The way my grandparents' house is built is like it was carved into a small hill or something, and the first floor was half into the hill and half above the ground. It had regular-sized double windows that were close to the ceiling, and right underneath the window was a sectional couch. I walked into the family room and looked at the window. It was dark, so I must have slept longer than I thought, but I saw my sister outside the window, crouched down, and staring at me. And then she flicked me off. I ran to the window and jumped on the headrest of the sectional and flung open the window to cuss her out. But when I did, nobody was there. She couldn't have run that quick because we made eye contact up until I flung the window open. I was like, what the hell?
I'm like, what the hell?
Truly, what the hell?
What the hell?
What the fuck? I slowly closed the window because I was still baffled. When I closed the window, I was staring at my reflection. Kind of confused, I touched my face. My reflection was smiling, but my fingers did not feel a smile. Oh my God. That's my worst. That's my biggest fear. Like, and whenever I watch a movie and someone like smile, the reflection smiles back at them and they're not smiling, it's like, it's so scary to me.
I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. I turn it off. I leave immediately. I jumped off the sectional and ran. I was trying to remember the Lord's Prayer, but alas, I was never taught the prayer and my parents didn't make us go to church. I remember thinking I really need to learn the Lord's Prayer or some kind of chant to keep me safe.
No, that's horrible.
That's terrifying. Yeah, that's scary. It's like whatever was out there was mimicking her sister and then her, right?
Yeah, this is like the worst part of every horror, like paranormal experience put into one. Mm-hmm. Your reflection smiles back at you. Your sister, there's a doppelganger, there's a mimic, something pretending to be her. And then you, and it flipped you off?
Yeah.
No, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm done. But yeah, please send us the rest of your stories. Okay, and now are you ready for duendes?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So this first one is, I remember it was titled El Duende Rojo, but then I got to the end of it and I was like, why was it El Duende Rojo? So anyway, let's get into it. All of these I found on YouTube, but they're all from Hablemos de lo que no existe is the name of the channel. Mm-hmm. Honestly, so many great stories. I love that place, that channel. So here's the first one. Camila and Bernardo are cuates, fraternal twins, and a pair of menaces. Ever since they were tiny kids, they loved playing pranks on their poor parents. One of their favorite pranks was to put a bucket of water on top of a door, like a jar emparejada, so that whenever someone opened it, the water would fall over all over that person.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope the Duende gets them now. I'm just
no,
kidding.
Honestly, I hate pranks. Anyway, these two kids, Camila and Bernardo, they also loved taking turns hiding from their parents, especially when their parents least expected it, which sounds so fucking stressful.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I would kill myself if I was these parents.
I would be so traumatized. Like, oh my God, I lost them again. Like,
me internaría at a manicomio.
You would commit yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, admit yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, they were just a pair of menacing but loving children. They were
they have to have some good qualities, right?
No, yeah, to be that menaces like that, they have to be
so.
something has to be redeeming, right? Yeah. Or somebody would have already like kicked their asses, like
yeah.
So yeah, they were always laughing together. They had a secret language, so they're sort of like real twins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll allow
in
it.
that sense. Yeah. And that's what they did. They laughed, they plotted, they pranked. That's their life. But they were always making everyone in their family laugh. So everyone thought it was funny.
Okay.
I guess.
I like that.
But when they turned 10, things took a dark turn. The pair of twins were in their room. They were home alone, but they heard knocking at their door. And so their room door, I wrote their room, but this was, I think, a living room.
Oh, I see.
So in this living room, it had a sliding door. And so, yeah, not a door that opens out, just a sliding one. So this sliding door was closed and they heard those 3 knocks. Bernardo was the one closest to the door. And when he first heard the knocking, he thought it was his sister Camila. But he quickly turned around behind him and Camila sitting right there.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't Camila. They didn't even think to be scared because of who these kids were. They're like prankster, mischievous selves took over. And he was like he put his lips up to his finger to Camila, like, shh. And he tiptoed to the door and they're like, whoever's on the other side, we're going to scare them now, is what they're thinking. So they're not scared. I would be immediately scared, but not them.
They're brave.
Not these two.
They're brave.
Yeah. So he tiptoed to the door. And the moment he was right in front of the door, he heard like these tiny little footsteps.
Oh God.
So he quickly slid the door open to see like what is this? And they saw like a small shadow, like someone, like a small person basically ran into their parents' room and shut the door. And so he turned to Camila, and again, because they love bromas, they love pranks, neither one of them thought to be scared or that this could be anything else. Yeah. So he turned to his sister and he was like, let's scare him back. We're going to get him.
Who do they think it was?
I don't know because they were home alone.
Yeah. Wow. They're
so
just
that's
ready
the craziest
for a prank
part.
war at any moment.
Yes. And so they don't even care. And yeah, Camila, same thing, because she's just like Bernardo. She didn't question anything. She was just like, yeah, let's do it. Neither one of them was like, wait, we're by ourselves. So they ran together to their parents' room and Bernardo knocked 2 times and Camila 3 times. Oops, sorry, that was a bunch of knocks. She knocked 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. And then they ran on opposite sides of the hall. So they each ran the other way.
They separated.
Yes, into different rooms, and they shut the door. And in their separate rooms, they each could hear as the door to their parents' room opened. And they again heard those tiny little footsteps. Ugh. And those footsteps went straight to Camila's room. And then they heard at her door, 3 knocks at her door. And then the tiny footsteps ran back to their parents' room, and the door, they heard it shut, like someone closed the door. Bernardo got out of his hiding spot and went to Camila and told her we're going to get him this time. And they devised a little plan. He told her to go through the patio, through the back, so that she could get in through a window. And they did that all the time because they were always doing this kind of shit to their parents. So she's like, yeah, I know exactly what to do.
We've done this before.
Yeah, and they have so many times. So she did it. She went to the back. She opened the window. And as she did that, Bernardo stayed in front of the door. And then he started to knock and knock and knock, like just a bunch of knocking in a row. And then Camila from inside the room yelled, "Ya va!" Like, open the door. This was their signal. Like, go open the door so they could catch whoever was inside. So he throws the door open. And when he opened it, only Camila was in there.
What?
There was nothing else in there. They searched the room, and yeah, it was just them staring at each other, confused, but somehow not scared.
These kids don't get scared.
Yeah, they thought this was still a game. And then they tried to play hide and seek, but whatever this was didn't join them to play hide and seek this time. Like, whatever this mysterious...
It was done.
Yeah, it was done with them for now. A couple of days passed, and their parents overheard the pair of twins talking to each other about hide and seek and a new friend. And they were talking to each other about a new duendecillo. They even was like, they were completely okay with the idea of this being a duende. These two.
Interesting.
Because they were like, oh, it was a little duende that was playing hide and seek with us. He's our friend. But we're going to beat him. We're going to beat him one day. Yeah. And their parents just laughed, thinking, oh, it's another one of their jokes. And then their dad was like, oh, I have a great idea. And he went out and bought a bag of little duendes, like the troll dolls with the hair. And then there was also different kinds of duendes in there. There was some troll dolls. There was some little like statue type ones, some really like handmade ones. So different kinds of duendes. And he had about 20. And he spread them all over the house. And then the next day, he did this while they were asleep. And the next day when they woke up, he told Camila and Bernardo, oh, hey, your duende friend brought more friends, thinking he was going to scare them. And they were like, oh my God, good one, Dad.
That's where they got it from.
That's why they're like this. So then they went around treating it like a fucking Easter egg hunt. So they went around looking for all the little duende toys. And every time they found a new duende toy, they would yell out, look, duende, your friends are better at hide and seek than you.
Taunting it. It's not gonna like that.
No, I don't think so. The next morning, their dad woke the twins up and he was like, ahora sí se pasaron. Like, you guys took it too far this time. This is not okay. I thought you guys liked my joke, but like, if you didn't, this was not an okay thing to do. And then Camila and Bernardo were like, what? Like, we didn't do, like, what are you talking about? We didn't do anything. And their dad was like, no, you're not going to joke. Like, this isn't a joke. This isn't one of your little jokes. This is serious. And they're like, what did we do? Show us what we did. And he's like, what do you mean show you? You're the ones who did it. So everyone's confused. And he walked them over to the living room. There in the living room, they saw all the 20 little duende toys lined up on the floor, all missing their heads.
Oh, wow.
And their dad was fuming. And Bernardo was like, but some of these duendes are like made really well with like some very heavy stone. Like they're ornaments. They're not toys. Like, how, I don't even know how to remove the head this like well. Like, if we did it, we would break the whole thing. We would have just
like, it was very precise.
Yes. So he's like, I don't even know how we would like remove these heads. And then dad was like, well, then tell me what you did. Tell me how you did this. Like, still insisting it was them. And they were like, it wasn't us. And then Bernardo was like, we think it was our duende friend. And their dad was like, oh my fucking God, stop with your shit.
Like, shut up about your duende friend.
And then Camila was like, Dad, you made him mad. And he was just like, I'm done with you guys. Stop.
They're like in tune with this duende.
Yes, they are. And their dad was not having it. He's like, this isn't funny. Clean up your shit. Like, clean up your mess. I'm over this. Like, this is not funny anymore. I think low key he was scared and lashing out at them. And they were confused, but they were picking up this mess that they didn't make. And then they were talking to each other and they were like, do you think our duende friend is mad? And then they were like, duende, don't be mad. Don't be jealous. It sounds like a cursed fucking song. Like, duende, don't be mad.
Yeah, it does.
As they were saying that, they saw the door slowly start to open. And when the door slowly started opening, it's that same sliding door in the living room. So the door was sliding open like super slowly. And when that started happening, Bernardo felt like someone flicked the back of his head and then like ran a nail down his neck. And it hurt. And he was like, what's happening? And then as he felt that, Camila felt a scratch. Like someone scratched her, and she lifted up her shirt and there was a scratch on her belly.
Oh my God.
He was like, no, like leave her alone. But they don't know what's doing this. And then the door was also still opening. And so he ran to close it and he was trying to close it, but something was in the way. That's when Camila yelled and pointed at the door. And so then he looked up at it and he saw a big red hand in the way.
The red duende thing.
That's why it's red. Okay. There was a red hand in the way, and that's why he couldn't close it. And so he started sliding the door like back and forth, trying to close it, but this hand was unfazed. It didn't hurt it. Like,
oh my God.
It wasn't moving. And then Camila started to yell, no, duende, we don't want to play with you. You're mean. Get out of here. When she yelled that, they watched the red hand slide down and vanish.
Oh.
And the duende didn't play with them again.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was going to listen to them.
Yeah, apparently it did. But
oh no.
But since that day, every night their dad would hear scratching underneath his bed.
Oh.
Just scratch, scratch, scratch every single night. And he thought that the kids had brought in like a cat or like a raccoon and just popped it under the bed as a joke.
That's ridiculous. The cat or raccoon would leave.
Right. They would grab a new one every night. And these two had even forgotten all about this incident. They had moved past this. The duende left them alone and they didn't even like think to say anything about what they had seen. And then their dad was like, I keep hearing scratching. Like it's been going on since this day. And then they were like, oh my God. That day we told the duende to fuck off. Like we told them to go. And then their dad was like, he's like, Lord. Yeah. So they put two and two together and realized it was probably the duende underneath the bed scratching every night.
Oh my God.
I hate it. And so he forbade the twins from playing hide and seek or mentioning duende, but the scratching never stopped.
Oh wow.
Ugh.
Don't like that.
No, same. Okay, are you ready for the next one? Okay, so this next story happened to Rosa when she was 5 or 6. And she's almost 30 now, so we know she's okay.
Okay, that's good.
But back then, as a child, she was not okay. Maybe as an adult, not either. Because, as a child, there were some things about her that her parents they didn't know how to deal with it. Her mom was always saying, wow, esta niña es bien inquieta. She's very restless. She's always on the move. She's easily distracted. She could not sit down and do a task like homework. That was nearly impossible.
So she had ADHD.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was just an ADHD girly.
Yeah.
But these things were not known.
Right.
Yeah. So they just didn't know what to do with her, and they really left her to her own devices because of this. Yeah. And then things just kind of got worse when her dad lost his job. And he ended up having to replace one job with 3. And he was just so busy. So he couldn't pay attention to her. The family dynamic then got worse when Rosita's uncle died. Her dad was so busy with work, he couldn't even make it to the funeral. And her mom had to take her by herself. So when they got to the cemetery, her mom, like before they went inside, she was like, please, Rosita, like for God's sake, don't leave my side. Don't dance, don't run, don't jump, don't be you. Like don't jump around. But she's like 5 or 6,
Kids are going to act like kids wherever they are, you know what
exactly. I mean? And it's a hard thing to understand. It is.
Yeah, especially in the past when there was more of a belief of kids are meant to be seen and not heard. Kids are supposed to be, quiet and obey at all times type thing.
Right. Yeah, so she like begged her to just like not be herself, be calm and quiet because this is a funeral. And Rosita nodded and she's like, okay, mommy.
She didn't know.
No, she didn't. But her mom like knew Rosita probably didn't even listen to half the things she said. But whatever. They walked hand in hand through the cemetery to where her uncle was being buried. And in the state that her mom was in and already knowing what Rosita was like, she didn't even notice when Rosita let go of her hand and wandered off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But of course, this wasn't Rosita or her mom's fault. Like, her mom is sad. The adults are grieving.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. And Rosita is a wanderer. She needs to explore. She needs to move.
Mm-hmm.
And she's bored at this funeral. You know, she was bored, surrounded by all these sad adults. And she's 6 at most, 5 or 6. She didn't understand why they were all sad. And this was her first time ever at un panteón, a cemetery. So she walked around. She wandered. And she was taking it all in. Like, she's like, oh, this side has a dirt road. This side has more grass. Look at these cute little houses. They were mausoleums. She didn't know that. But some of these mausoleums get a little crazy. So they're very fun to look at.
Yeah.
And so she's walking around. And like, weirdly enough, the cemetery is empty except her family. There's absolutely no one there, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
And then as it started getting dark, she's still walking around wandering. She heard a voice from behind one of these little houses.
Ew.
The mausoleum. Mm-hmm. And it said, hey, ¿quieres un dulce? Hey, want a piece of candy?
Ew, why did you whisper it?
So that you could be more scared.
Ugh.
There's a little hand behind the mausoleum, and it was green, and it was holding a lollipop. But Rosita, she didn't answer right away. She stayed where she was, because she remembered at some point her mom told her not to take candy from strangers.
I'm glad she remembered that.
See, she remembers things. And so she still stayed there in place, not sure what to do. And then the lollipop was like moving up and down. Like, the hand was, shaking it up and down. Like, look at this. Look, it's right here. As if trying to entice her. And she stayed in place. She remained there, staring at it. And then from behind the mausoleum, the face peeked out.
Oh my God. That is the creepiest way for anything to peek out at you. Like,
yes, things peeking out is the worst.
Yeah.
So the face behind the little green hand popped out. And just like the hand, it was green. Rosita gasped and she was like, oh, es un duende. It's a duende. Like, and then it told her, ven aquí, tengo más niños y más dulce. Come here, I have more kids and more candy.
Very Peter Pan.
Very new. And you know what? He wore green too, and I don't trust him.
Yeah.
And so she shook her head no. Like, she still didn't want the lollipop. So the duende was like, okay. I'm going to leave that lollipop right here for you, right there.
I'm just going to put it down. If you want, you can get it. No pressure.
That's exactly what it
God.
did. And so then it stepped back a little bit and it left it there. And then finally she was like, okay. So she walked towards the lollipop and she reached for it. And when she was reaching at the same time, the duende reached for her.
Oh,
and grabbed her hand. And then he yanked her towards him. And all she remembers after that is hearing screaming and crying, and that the duende blew some sort of powder on her, like,
what the?
Yeah. And then she passed out.
It is very Peter Pan-like.
I know. Was he a duende?
I think he was a duende, like some kind of duende.
Honestly,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And she doesn't remember anything after that except waking up at the hospital. And her mom was by her side crying and telling her sorry for leaving her, for not paying attention, for not looking for her, that it was her fault. And then Rosita was like, no te preocupes. I just saw a duende. And then when she said that, she was like, don't worry, mom. It was just a duende. And then both her mom and the doctor at the same time were just like, what do you mean it was just a duende? Like, they went silent, like, no, my Shayla. But lucky for her, no one mentioned the duende ever again, and it didn't seem to have followed her home. That was it.
Good. Wow.
This is one of the better outcomes, I think, where it was one scare and then it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even say this at the top, but I feel like we don't need to explain what a duende is. We have so many episodes on duendes.
There's been a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but just like some people think they're evil, some people think they're not, but they're just these little people, little elf-like things. They have pointy hats, pointy ears, beards sometimes, like evil Smurfs. Or sometimes they're good. Some people think they're good. Not everybody thinks they're evil.
Yeah, but they're like mischievous.
Yeah, little tricksters. So yeah, that's basically, and there's different versions of them. Okay, so this next story is Jaime and the Duendes. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so when Jaime was around 9, his family finally moved into a house that took them years to build. He found the topic boring whenever it came up, like, oh, our dream house. He's like, ugh, enough about the house.
Dream house.
Yeah, because his parents were always talking about it. But in the end, he did like the house. Like it wasn't huge, but it was bigger than other places they had lived in. It felt like it was perfect for them. He was just tired about hearing about it.
He was over it.
Yeah, but then things changed. Months after moving in, weird things started happening. First, it was just things were being misplaced. And he knew his mom liked things to be tidy and always in their place. Everything was spotless. Everything had a place to be. And suddenly things weren't in their places. Like it started with the keys. The keys were not where they were supposed to be. And they would look and they couldn't find them anywhere. And then suddenly they would reappear back in their normal place, even though they had already checked that spot. And Jaime's dad would just tell his mom, like, oh, you're stressed. You just didn't look carefully, but they were there the whole time. And then they would argue about it. Like, no, I'm not, like, they weren't there. We already looked. And so he wasn't used to seeing them argue this much, but he would just watch them argue. This happened for a while. And then he started finding toys that weren't his in his drawers.
Oh, no.
And these toys were dirty and muddy. And he would see them and then go to his mom and be like, why'd you put this in my room? And then she would be like, why are you playing with dirty ass toys? Like, get those toys out of the house. Like, why are they here? And he's like, I don't know why they're here. Like, you put them in my room. And she's like, no.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he himself didn't like think too much about like the toys, the keys being misplaced. He didn't care about these things.
He was just a kid.
Yeah, but he did notice that his mom was getting like more and more mean to him. In reality, she was scared and stressed. But himself, he saw her as like, she's being so mean. And he distanced himself from her. But he didn't know about the things that were freaking her the fuck out. Every night, they heard footsteps on their roof. Little tiny footsteps. The same ones. Little duende footsteps. Ugh. Every day while they had dinner, there was knocking at their window.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he even thought he heard the laughter of children sometimes, even though no one was there. But he thought, oh, this is fun, like living in a horror movie.
Wow.
I don't know. His mom, on the other hand,
she's like, oh,
freaked the fuck out. Yeah. And he overheard her telling his dad, I need to get out of here. I'm going crazy. And his dad would dismiss her. Like, what are you talking about? Ever since this key nonsense, you've been acting crazy. Oh. You just need to chill. This is what we wanted. We worked hard for this for years. You wanted a house. I built us a house.
Don't like that.
No, I don't either. And she insisted. She's like, no, there's something here. Something talks to me when you're not here. They open the drawers. Then I hear them laugh, like they're laughing at me. But the dad went on with his like insisting like, no, you're just crazy. And as they were arguing about this, they heard footsteps again. Like,
so he heard them too.
Yeah. Him from where he was overhearing their argument, and now them two together all heard footsteps. And it's like these footsteps were saying, yeah, we're here. Here are footsteps. And so he was like, yeah, actually, that was something. You're
like,
right.
Wait. You're right. We're being haunted.
So they went and talked to his Jaime's grandma. So his mom's name is Silvia. And so Silvia, they went to talk to Silvia's mom. And she was the one because she knew she was into like this old stories and like witchy things.
Okay, she was witchy, she was folklore-y.
Yes. And so she was the one to tell them, you know what? These must be duendes in your house. And Silvia was like, oh, no, Mom, don't be crazy. Now she's being like her husband. And her mom is like, no, look, they're not bad, but they're just in your house. And then Silvia was like, they're driving me crazy. And her mom is like, no, it's because you're letting them. You're letting them drive you crazy. So she came over and she was like, duendes, I'm here to play. I'll play with you. Which sounds like a cursed set of words to say together to me. Yeah. But for once, there was nothing. No opening of drawers, no footsteps, no little laughs, nothing. No knocking. Yeah. And they were like, that's weird. And Silvia's mom was like, okay, well, is there anything in your backyard? And Silvia was like, no, Mom, what would be there? What would be in my backyard? But her mom was like, no, let's go look at the backyard. And so they walked around the backyard. And that's when she saw this tree. And her mom was like, girl, this is their tree. This is where the duendes live. Have you given them offerings? Are you leaving things at the foot of this tree for them? And Silvia again was like, no, mom, I'm not doing that. That's dumb. And Silvia's mom was like, no, I'll be right back. She went and she came back and she had a bag of stuff to leave for them, little toys, offerings. And she told her daughter, Silvia, like, hey, you have to leave them things. They'll like you'll appease them if you leave them things, and then they won't be as mean to you. But then she was like a little too into it. And she would keep talking about the duendes. And like
her mom was?
Yes. Yeah. And she came by more often with more offerings for the duendes, which she started to call los niños de la casa. Suddenly, Jaime was being sidelined. And los niños de la casa was all everyone was talking about.
Oh, wow.
Yes. His abuelita would go there with toys, and he was like, oh, ¿qué me trajiste? What'd you bring me? And she's like,
nothing for you.
These are for los niños. And he's like, I'm a niño. No, not you. Not you.
Wow.
And obviously, Jaime felt sad.
Yeah.
So one day he was home by himself and he yelled, you guys are not my friends. You make my family ignore me. He's yelling at the duendes. Yeah. And the next day after he yelled this, he asked his parents to play hide and seek, but they were busy. Again, talking about los niños, like the duendes. Like, then on top of that, his abuelita got there and she did the same thing. She's like, whatever. I'm here for los niños. I have more offerings for them.
Oh, wow. He's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, so then he yelled and he was yelling and crying and he's like, you guys are forgetting me. You keep talking about them and them and them and not me. And then finally, all the adults in the room were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We are like ignoring you. Like, what are we doing? So they were all so sorry. They hugged and they were like, yeah, we'll play hide and seek with you. And this is like the worst fucking game to play in a haunted house or a house.
Yeah. Did we learn nothing from The Conjuring?
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
to this day gives me nightmares.
Yeah. So yeah, no hide and seek. But no, they did play hide and seek. So he went to hide and in like 10 minutes, his abuelita found him. A few moments after his abuelita found him, his parents came booking it down the stairs and they were yelling like, we're leaving this house, we're going.
Wow.
And once they were far away enough from the house, his parents told him and his abuelita what had happened. They were all playing hide and seek like normal, and they were looking for Jaime together. They saw Jaime, presumably Jaime, run into a room, and they were like, wow, Jaime sucks at hide and seek. Like, he should have already found a spot. What is he doing? Why is he barely running over there? And then they looked at each other like, oh yeah, we're gonna get him. We got him. Yeah. And they even they walked into the room and they saw his little head duck behind the couch. So they tiptoed over to the couch and they could hear him playing with a toy car behind the couch. And they were like, oh my God, he's really bad at hide and seek. You're not supposed to make noise, fool. Like, what are you doing? Why are you making noise? Like, we're gonna find you. He sucks. And then so Silvia got closer and then the car rolled to her feet like it was pushed.
Very creepy.
Yeah. And then his dad was like, okay, I'm going to get him. He like jumped behind the couch and then he's like, no está aquí. He's not here.
Oh my God.
And then she was like, what the fuck? I'm looking at his feet right now. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean he's not here? And he's like, no está aquí. Yeah. She's like, ahí están sus pies.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
then they finally like looked at what they were each looking at. And yeah, he wasn't there. And that's when they were like, nope, let's run out of here.
They ran outside.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever. And they say like, when this, obviously they're like little tricksters and like, well, some people believe only kids can see them, but there's also a lot of stories of them like that they can make themselves vanish, and like if they want you to see them, you'll see them. If they don't, you won't. And so it would make sense that they played this trick on them of like hiding. But that's just the scenery of this. Ugh. But so they ran outside and they were like, yeah, we're leaving this house, but they didn't have like anything ready to move. They can't just like up and move in a night. So they had to go back into the house.
Oh my God.
But things only got worse after that cursed hide-and-seek game.
Oh my God.
Everything was being moved around. Jaime would wake up every single morning with his sheets like on the other side of the room because they were not just being pulled off in the middle of the night, but like thrown.
Oh, wow.
His mom tried everything to have like Bibles, crucifixes, incense, praying. Like nothing was working. And like one day when she was by herself, she yelled out like, "No sé a quién le tengo que rezar para que se larguen de mi casa. I don't know who I need to pray to for you to get the hell out of my house." Then she heard footsteps upstairs.
Oh my God.
Right after she said that, just little footsteps. And for some reason, she went to the footsteps. Like I would not.
Yeah.
I say that, but who knows? Maybe I would. Maybe I would be a dumb bitch. So she went upstairs to where she heard the footsteps. When she got to the top of the stairs, she realized that it was like pitch black. This is the darkest she's ever seen the house. Like so dark she couldn't even see her own hand in front of her.
Oh wow.
And
Like unnaturally dark.
Yes. And she's like, what is happening? She was like trying to look around for a light, for anything. And then she suddenly saw a pair of eyes open in front of her.
Oh my God, no.
And she booked it down the stairs, outside, and never set foot inside the house again.
Oh wow.
Jaime's dad had to pack everything up by himself. And you know what? He kind of deserves that. So.
I mean, if he had just believed it from the beginning, none of this would have happened.
Exactly.
Damn.
And so because he was packing by himself, I guess he would, like, they all left the house immediately and he would return to make trips to get everything. And so when he would go back for things kept happening. Like he would leave, like he would pack up and then like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go. And then he would come back and the boxes that he had already packed up,
they were unpacked.
And no. Well, that'd be worse. I would be even more mad. Yeah, like you guys are packing this shit up, you little shits. No, he would leave these boxes packed up by the door so he could just grab them. But then they would be at the top of the stairs.
Oh my God.
Yes. So once he finally was able to get everything, and none of them ever set foot there again.
Damn.
They sold the house. But even now, when Jaime, who's almost 20, hears his mom talk about the house, she's like shaking,
she's
terrified.
So scared. Wow.
Yeah, she's like, that house almost drove me insane.
Damn.
And yeah, that was Jaime and Los Duendes. Although when I listened to the story, he ended the story by like asking, what do you think was in the house? Because some comments were like, those were not duendes, those were demonios.
Really? That's not really demonio-like behavior.
No, it's very duende-like behavior to me.
Yeah. Maybe they were mad that they didn't like ask them if they could live there, because you know this was like the duende's house first.
Yeah, like a little ritual.
They decided to terrorize them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was duendes for
But you
sure.
know what? There's another story. I've shared it on TikTok like years ago, and I hate the video because I didn't know how to tell stories then. Not that I do it better now, but I should redo it. But this story is, I think it was in Tabasco, and it's called La Tierra de los Duendes. It's the name of the legend. But basically, this family moves into this land. It was like an abandoned farm, basically. And they get this terreno. They're like, oh my God, we're so happy with our terreno. And they go there and they make it a house or whatever. They make it home. And then things start happening. And like their chickens start acting weird. Like not just weird, but they're like literally walking around with their necks like,
oh my God.
And then they're like, what's happening? And so they get, what are they called? They get a curandero to come out, and the curandero's like, yeah, this is the land of the duendes, and then they don't want you here, and they're like gonna kill all your chickens until you guys go, and if you don't listen, it's gonna be like you, like the chickens is a warning basically. And so like shit just kept happening, and they ended up leaving, and like that land is abandoned right now, because the duendes are like, no, we're not sharing this. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like if they really want to, they could do terrible things. Like they're not always these little whimsical little figures.
Right. But there's people that get little like duende figures for like luck.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of that.
Or like go to a duende like and ask for help. So I don't think I would. I would get a little duende figure for luck, I think. But I would not
go to a duende.
Go to like
no,
like a place where it's known like, hey, a duende lives there, and people go and ask for help.
Yeah, no. That's a no for me, dog. I feel like that's opening like a door.
Yeah, and once that door opens, it can't
close it.
Yeah. So yeah, those were our stories for today. And do you have any spooky recommendations? I hear Milo crying over there, so
I'm
going
gonna
to
feed him before we do that.
Okay.
Spooky recommendations.
Yes. Do you have any spooky recommendations?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I know I'm so many years late on this, but I finally watched The Train to Busan. It was amazing. It was the way I like my zombies. It's scary. Because I'm like, I never understand when zombies like can't even run and they walk so slow. I'm like, how do you get killed by a zombie? Like you can get away so easily.
That's why Kyle hated The Walking Dead.
Okay, yeah, that's what this is the one. Yeah, they should have ran. Yeah, all zombies honestly should run. Otherwise, like, what's the point? Do you fucking get killed? Like, you could just fucking run. Yeah.
Well, they could outnumber you and corner you into a wall.
But how do you let it get to that point if you could just run away from them? If they're so slow, how do you let so many zombies be built up where they can swarm you? You know what I mean?
I don't question it. I don't know.
Well, I do. And I think that they should all run. And so these zombies were terrifying because you can't outrun them. And anyway, it was amazing.
It's a really good zombie movie. It's in my top. I think it's honestly Train to Busan and Night of the Living Dead for me.
Definitely. Yeah. It's probably my favorite zombie movie now.
I also really like Dawn of the Dead though. So
I like Dawn of the Dead. I think
don't find it as
scary though. Yeah. Like I feel like now when I watch it, it's like more campy than anything.
Yeah.
And Train to Busan was actually scary. Like at moments I was like, oh my God. You know?
But also, did you expect to cry that much?
Oh, I didn't cry.
Okay, well, you're dead inside.
Yes,
I cried.
I am dead inside. I did feel heartfelt though. I had moments of sadness.
I was capable of having tears come out of my eyes, they would have came out in these parts.
Yeah.
The end. Yeah.
It was sad. It was. I was like, oh my God. I didn't think that was gonna happen. It was sad. Almost everyone dies.
Yeah. And I mean, that's expected with the zombie movie.
It is, but
like,
I don't know. I didn't think.
Some people that I thought were going to make it didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously?
My favorite guy.
Even him?
My favorite guy was the dad-to-be.
Same. I think he has a special place in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
I
he was
thought
my favorite.
He was going to make it.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. Almost. Yeah, like I said.
There is a... I don't know if it's... I think it serves as a prequel, but it was, made after.
Oh, a prequel to the movie?
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. But I heard it's not as good.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and then I wonder what happened to the U.S. remake.
There's a U.S. remake of...
There's supposed to be one that was being worked on. That was like supposed to be set in New York. But it's funny because I'm like, how the transportation system just isn't the same. Like, what is this going to be? Like a subway? Like subway to... Is it going to take place from like...
It'd have to be a subway.
Yeah. What if it was BART? Like Train to Busan, but like...
I feel like that's kind of like scarier because it's like all underground almost.
BART to San Francisco.
It doesn't have the same
but
ring.
From like... they have to go from like Antioch or something like that.
The fuck lives in Antioch? That'd be
That's the horror story.
Living in Antioch.
Oh my God. But yeah, there's supposed to be... I don't know what is going on with it. Like,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It would...
How long has this been going on, the talks?
I remember reading about it when I watched Train to Busan, and this was at least 2 years ago. So
I mean, sometimes things take a long time to develop, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Not a lot of zombie movies get made in the US anymore, I feel like.
And this reminds me, there's actually a zombie movie that premiered. It was directed by George A. Romero's daughter.
Really?
And I have yet to see it, but I saw Movie Mija on TikTok talking about it. She talks about movies. You can tell from her name.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zombie movie. Queens of the Dead. Let me read you the synopsis.
Okay.
It's a comedy horror. I'm seated already.
I love comedy horror.
We love comedy horror.
Yes.
Okay, so the plot: drag queens and club kids battle zombies craving brains during a zombie outbreak at their drag show in Brooklyn, putting personal conflicts aside to utilize their distinct abilities against the undead.
Oh, wait, I have to watch this. Where can it be watched?
So I know it premiered at like a festival, but I'm wondering, was it out in theaters? Yeah, so it's out in theaters right now. Because I was going to say, should we watch it together when you're here? But I don't think it's going to be...
Oh, I mean, you can watch it. Well, let's talk about this after. Let's end this.
Sorry. Let's end this. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a spooky recommendation because I finally got my hands on Juan of the Dead, the Cuban zombie movie that I have been wanting to watch forever. But it's like, it's not streaming anywhere. Of course, my favorite place in the world, Scarecrow Video, had it, but I haven't watched it yet. I still have to watch it. I just got it on Saturday when I tried those amazing donuts. So I have yet to watch it, and I already talked about the other two movies that I watched recently, so that's my next watch. But I have a very long list of movies to watch, I don't know if I can recommend it yet, but again, I love any zombie. The quality of zombie,
even bad zombie movies, to be high. Like.
Yes, exactly.
Same for vampire for me.
Yeah, same. So even if it's not amazing, I will probably still recommend it. But that's what I will be watching, Juan of the Dead. And so yeah, other than that, don't forget that you can catch us live November 1st, 2025 in Yakima, Washington. The event is called The Cucuy is Going to Get You. It's going to be us two and Jonathan from Latinos Against Spooky Shit. The video is getting traction on TikTok that I posted, but everybody's there for him, which is so funny. Which I expected anyway. Again, he has like an insane amount of followers, so on both Instagram and TikTok.
It's so funny because I think I've only seen him like once or twice naturally.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, oh my God, if only you could come to this place. And then I'm like, I don't think they're talking to me.
They're like crickets.
Yeah. But yeah, you can catch us live. So we would love to see you there. And other than that, maybe we'll see some of you, what is it, the 30th here in Seattle. So
yes.
Yeah, we're going to do an event at Café Corazon. Although that's like already closed off and full. And so that's why I haven't been like promoting it.
Watch everyone run and not come to see us.
Right. Everyone's just there for the run. Well,
we'll be there either way.
Yeah, we're gonna be there either way. So yeah, we're gonna be doing those things, and we're gonna be out and about anyway. So if you're into us, feel free to say hi. I want to take you to Pike Place so we can film a video on the haunted ramp.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Also, I really want those croissants.
That's the main thing I want.
That's the main thing. We have to go early though, so
I'm down to go early. Again, we need to end.
Oh
this.
My God, I'm sorry. All right. And yeah, I don't know. Don't say the one in your house and stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time. Bye.
Bye.